Now, the private security industry is a key partner in the fight against crime in the country. In this hour, we'll take a look at the role that it plays as we focus on crime in South Africa. Gauteng is still seeing an increase in criminal acts or criminal activity, with the province contributing about 27.9% of South Africa's overall crime statistics in the first quarter. Let's continue with our coverage from Randfontein, with that area rated 4th in the province for serious crimes. It's where we find my co-anchor, Michelle Craig, who joins us now live. And if we're able to get this right, Michelle, it's not only police, but I imagine the private sector also has to play their role.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning once again to you and our viewers, Ayanda. It's not just about policing as we talk about the soaring crime rates, right? It's also about what communities can do to arm themselves and to keep themselves safe. We're talking CPFs, street committees, and of course a big part of that as well is private security. So this morning we're speaking to a private security company operating here in Randfontein and also in the Krugersdorp area. Mapogo A Mathamaga is the security company and Danie Vermeulen is the operations manager. Danie, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for coming on.
Thank you very much.
You know, when you think about serious crime and the surging rate of serious crime we're seeing not only in the country, in Gauteng, what are the serious crimes that rate quite highly in Randfontein?
In Randfontein, we've got a challenge of armed home invasions, armed robberies. We've got stock theft, quite a big challenge that we face in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Stock theft, like I said, armed home invasions, armed robberies, and then also street robberies. People getting mugged on the street, school children getting mugged on their way from school. So yeah, we are facing quite a challenge on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the quarterly crime statistics. I know for Gauteng we saw quite a major increase for the province insofar as serious crimes concerned, but Randfontein as well rating quite highly 4th insofar as serious crimes are concerned. So clearly there's been an uptick, there's been the surge in serious crimes over the last quarter.
Yes, we've had quite a spike in serious and violent crimes, like I said, with armed robberies, malls getting robbed on a Sunday, in business hours, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, yeah. Shootouts in malls, it's been on the uprise. We had quite a big spike.
I imagine just from the nature of the serious crime that you're describing, we're going into the festive season now, that you're preparing for things to get worse.
Yeah, we're going into this, what we call the silly season. And we're preparing, and we're actually more on active patrols during the nights, especially during the load shedding. That's where we get most of our crimes from. What happens is the guys actually sleep during the day, and they actually look at the load shedding schedules, and as soon as load shedding hits, then we have a spike in crime.
Yeah. So insofar as your private security company and your interaction with police, how important is it that you guys sort of work hand in hand with police?
Yes, it's very important because we try and assist the police. They can't be everywhere. We've got various area vehicles located in a specific area, working that area. So we're eyes and ears for the police. We help them with arrest procedures. It's most definitely an important thing that we work together. Otherwise, the whole crime prevention thing won't help.
It's private security, it's CPFs, community policing forums as well. Are they doing quite well here?
Yes, most definitely. There's a lot of CPFs, CPF groups. We've got stock theft, anti-stock theft units in the area. We all work together. Like I said, we monitor a lot of WhatsApp groups for them. We respond on that, and we've got great successes on that, on the WhatsApp groups that we monitor and then respond to with the SAP.
And then there's the street committees, right? That's also seeing an increase, not only here in Randfontein but in many other areas. I suppose it speaks to how scared people are, how fearful they are living in their homes, and that need to sort of keep their neighbours and their friends informed of what's happening.
Yeah, that's quite important. And like I said, people don't even want to come out of their houses anymore. You know, they come home at night, lock their houses up, and they stay in the house, and homes still get invaded. So it's important for neighbours to know each other, know your neighbour. If you see something, say something, report it to your security company. and just jack up your security. People shouldn't leave doors open at night. I mean, most of the incidents happen between 6 o'clock at night and 8 o'clock at night. You get armed home invasions, and that's the time when people feel comfortable when they come home.
When they're coming home from work.
Yes, and that's the time you feel comfortable. You start preparing your dinner, and you start preparing your kids for bed and all that, and that's when it happens.
Yeah. So on that note, what would be your advice, not only for the residents that you cover, but for people who are watching this morning, advice on how to keep yourself, how to keep your family safe as we go into what you call the silly season?
I think it's just know your surroundings. Look at your surroundings. Always look for things on your pavement outside where they mark the houses. Look for people that pass your house too often. Take note of clothing that people wear. If you see, like I said, if you see somebody that wears, look for clothing description. If something happens that you know, if you see a car passing a couple of times, be aware. They even steal dustbins, so be aware of your surroundings. When you get closer to your house at night, don't just open your gate when you stop in front of it. Rather drive past, see what's happening in your street. Come back, open your gate, go in and close it as soon as possible.
Yeah. These are the things that we have to do to keep our families safe.
Yes, and get your alarms working. Yeah. Test your alarms on a weekly basis. Test your panic buttons. Be in contact with your service provider, for your security service provider. Get somebody, see that your electric fence is working. Yeah. Lights outside, always a very, very, very good thing. And CCTV cameras, that's about the way you can go.
You know, the sad thing about what you're saying is that it's only a very small portion of our country that can even afford these things, right?
Yes.
CCTV cameras,
yeah,
electrical fencing.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive. That's why we're running and we're monitoring all these WhatsApp groups. We're Community Shield. We don't only service outlines, we service the community. If a non-client phones in, we're always there to help. We're always assisting the police with non-clients. That's just what we do.
Yeah. You know, just as we wrap up our interview, Danie, before we went on air, we were talking about one of the other major challenges, and it's not just in Randfontein, it's in many other areas around the country, and that's drugs.
Sorry, say it.
The use of drugs?
Oh, yeah, substance abuse is a very, very big... I think that's the biggest contributing factor to crime rising in the area is substance abuse. Substance abuse, either drugs, alcohol, and also the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is a very, very, very big factor in Randfontein that contributes to crime.
Danie Vermeulen, let me thank you for your time this morning. He is the operations manager for Mapogo A Mathamaga. It's a private security company that's operating here in Randfontein. And if you were listening to that interview, no matter what part of the country you're in this morning, I'm sure many of the issues that he's raised around drugs, substance abuse, unemployment, street committees, WhatsApp groups, it rings true for many areas around the country as well.